We're live.
We are live. I'm trying to get everything to go correctly here. All right. We're not live on X. Welcome to episode 1 of Just Swings, the podcast. I am Ty from By the Book Baseball, an Instagram account that basically posts swings every day. Every now and again, I'll miss a day here and there, but Matt is also on with me. We also have another podcast called the Three Putt Podcast, where we talk about golf. Today, we're going to talk about baseball, and we are going to talk about our top 10 swings of all time. We're going to talk about baseball contracts in the MLB. Are they getting a little out of control? And then the last topic we'll talk about is the game broken at that level, at the highest level, and even maybe the collegiate level? Matt, why don't you introduce yourself?
Howdy, I'm Matt. Played baseball all the way through into junior college. Still my favorite sport on the planet. So as much as I love talking golf, this is my bread and butter.
Same. I'm an avid golfer. I love talking golf, but baseball has always been my thing. Still a high school coach to this day, and played a lot of adult ball, played high school ball, played a little college ball. So have all of that stuff in the resume. Open to comments. Anybody that's watching, this is a live stream, feel free to throw in, but I think we should jump right into it. I think we should go back and forth. I'll do my number 10 swing, then you can do your number 10. We'll work our way up to number 1. And then I'd really like to find a way to put together our own top 10 that we actually kind of agree on.
Sounds good.
All right. So who's your number 10?
So I went about this a little differently. I went 5 right-handed, 5 left-handed. Didn't necessarily rank them in any particular order, but I can tell you, just looking at this list here, I would say Buster Posey is my number 10. I went guys that I have seen play besides one. There's only one guy on this list that I never saw play myself. And we'll get to him, but as far as number 10 swing guys that I saw, just I feel I can talk a little more about it. Buster Posey.
I'm close with you. I have 2 people on my list that I never saw play, but have seen enough of their swing that I love it. My number 10 would be Bryce Harper. I love Harper's swing. It's just violent. It's crazy. Anybody that's watching and can see behind me, obviously, I'm a Phillies fan. This side. So Bryce Harper, love watching him play. Love the fact that he can do a 2-strike swing. Love the fact that he is just become everything I've wanted out of a Phillies player, even though I hated him so much when he was with the Nationals. So that's my number 10.
Easy to hate, but also you love to have him on your team.
The old
people. And before anybody gives you a hard time, by the way, for being a Phillies homer, I mean, come on. I spent a lot of time watching Buster Posey play. I was at his debut game.
I think it's funny that our 10s are both players from the teams we like. I do not have another player on my list from the Phillies. I'm sure you have another player from the Giants.
You already know that there is one player.
Number 1.
Huh?
I'm going to bet that he's number 1.
I don't know if he's my number 1, but he's a great pick. So we'll go to number 9 here. We'll go left-handed this time. I'll go. Let's go Yordan Alvarez.
Nice.
There's a little curveball for you.
No, he is on my list.
Is he really? So as far as like,
he is not
mechanics.
Higher than number 9 on my list.
You have him higher.
I do.
Wow.
Number 9 on my list is Willie Mays. So Willie is a guy that I didn't get to see play, but obviously is on the ballot as maybe one of the best players to ever walk the face of the earth. Love the videos of watching him play. Played at 100 miles an hour. One of the few guys from back in that day that, you and I argue about what his game translate. I don't think Willie would need all of the stuff that these guys need today for it to translate. I think he could just walk on the ball field and play with anybody. So Willie Mays is my number 9. I think it's funny that you didn't think Yordan would be on. If you go through the just swings on my site, his swing is like one of my favorite swings that I've ever put up on the site.
Is it really? I mean, he's just like bat to ball skills. It's pretty, it's short, it's compact, but it doesn't look violent, but the dude
Doesn't need
just mashes baseball. Like I hate to say it, but just watching him hit a couple homers against the Phillies, it was like, whoa,
Hey,
that dude. He looks like one of the scariest human beings to ever step in the box. I mean, he's like 8 feet tall, and it doesn't look like you can pitch him anywhere.
barrel skills are barrel skills.
Yes.
Like you don't need to be violent if you find the barrel. And I don't know how many high school players that I've had to tell that to. Like, I don't care how hard you swing, if you find the barrel. Like that sweet spot is it's called sweet spot for a reason, right? Like
Mhm.
because it's freaking sweet. So if you find the barrel, you're gonna be really, really productive. All right, number 8.
Oh, this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna go A-Rod.
All right. A-Rod's got a beautiful swing. I'm hoping you name somebody that I have not done in just swings yet, because I need one for tonight because I can't find Will Clark. But don't
I don't know if I do. These guys, I went off of pretty swings, like
yeah, absolutely.
because again, guys I'll give a spoiler. Tony Gwynn's not on my list. Ted Williams not on my list. As far as hitters go, Rod Carew not on my list. But
Well, listen, Rod Carew's swing was not pretty by any means.
I'm going off of pretty, right? Like prettiest swings.
If we're talking best hitters of all time, Rod Carew better be on there. Tony Gwynn better be on there.
100%.
Swings. Best swings. This is not just hitters. Now,
Right.
a lot of mine are pretty good hitters, but my number 8 is Eric Davis.
As far as pretty swings go, I guess once he got the bat out from
Man, it was like, dude, just go to the Instagram site right now and look up his swing.
I've seen him swing. His swing is pretty, but like the start with his hand, like it's
I love it, man. Like that is like just one of the coolest, most athletic swings. And like his 2-year stretch when he wasn't doing drugs or got hurt was incredible. Like there's a guy right there. Him and Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah, I was gonna say Darryl Strawberry is another honorable mention.
Could have been just top 5 players of all time, easily. If they don't get hurt and they don't get in trouble, like just the sheer talent and athleticism.
Sure. Well,
top 5 might be stretching it. It's been a long day.
It's been a lot. Should we move on to the next one here?
Yeah, who's your number 7?
All right, in keeping with the right hand, left hand, let's just, let's go right hand, left hand. Will Clark.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
That's the only guy I never got to see play on this list. You
didn't get to see Will Clark?
I was born in 99. He retired in what, 03?
Yeah. No, okay, that makes sense. I'll say my 7 since we already talked about him, and then let's talk about Will Clark. Because my 7 is Yordan Alvarez, and my 6 is Will Clark.
Okay.
So, Will Clark should be in the Hall of Fame.
Probably.
If there is a Hall of Fame, that guy, I mean, he battled some injuries, but when he was right, I mean, just as pretty a swing as you're ever going to see. And I mean, as good a defensive first baseman as there might have ever been.
Sure.
The fact that he doesn't get more recognition because he didn't drop 50 bombs a year. He played in the 80s. Nobody did.
Right.
He was the best hitter in the 80s. Outside of Mark Grace.
Dale Murphy, maybe?
Dale Murphy, well, not best hitter in the 80s. I shouldn't say best hitter in the 80s. Late 80s. Schmidt and Murphy were obviously 1 and 2 in the 80s, I'd say, in the National League.
Yes.
Will, towards the end of the 80s, Will Clark was as good as there was.
Sure. And I know you don't like this one, but just seeing his finish, Griffey before Griffey a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of.
No, I don't disagree with that. They have a lot of common factors. Both of them really are smooth to the baseball, not a lot of aggression, really good bat to ball skill, barrel balls up type of hitters. No, I don't disagree with that at all. Who's your number 6?
I'm going to throw a big old curveball at you now. Barry Bonds.
Oh,
he's not my number 1. And here's why. I don't think, this is a big homer pick because do I think he's the prettiest swing ever? No. Do I think he's in the top 10 prettiest swings? That's an argument. but it's not the prettiest swing I've ever seen, right? Like,
He's
I mean,
gotta be.
I could make the argument that Will Clark has a prettier swing. I could make the argument that Jordan's got a better looking swing.
He is. It's kind of funny. He is 5 on my list, so he's my next guy.
Sure,
I his swing is not something that's appealing to me, but I don't
that's
think
a ball skills.
I put him 5 because I don't think you can talk about hitting in any way, shape, or form without mentioning Barry Bonds. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's
You know where I stand on this. Like, I
sure.
think if he wasn't roided out of his skull, 300 of those home runs are just fly balls to the outfield. But that's a conversation that I can't prove. So he is statistically as good as anybody to ever pick up a bat. So he's on my list. He's number 5. He's my next one. So we're kind of just bouncing
Who,
back and forth.
who's your sixth then?
I told you my 6, Will Clark.
Or sorry, your six is Clark. We're on 5. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yep. So what about you? Who's your 5?
5, another homer pick. He's actually on my wall next to me, and basically in every room in this house, Manny Machado. One of the second prettiest, I think the second prettiest right-handed swing I've ever seen.
I do not have him on my list. There's one person on my list that after I made the list, and I promised myself I wasn't going to go back because I went all the way down,
Uh huh.
and I was like, yep, love it, love it, love it. And then at the end, I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, that guy could be number 2. So not Manny, but like Machado. I have a guy at the end that I'm going to add that is kind of a wild card that I'm almost disappointed I didn't put in. But like we said, we talked about swings that we liked watching, not necessarily productive swings.
Right.
So for that, I'm going to go to my number 4. Unless you want to talk about Manny a little, we can talk. I don't want to upset you.
No. I mean, we don't need to talk again. This is more of like swings that we like watching. He's been my favorite player since I was 10. So what? I mean, gorgeous right-handed swing. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all there is. Smooth as can be.
My number 4 is Bo Jackson.
Love it. I was wondering if you're going to put Bo. You want to talk about injuries and could be one of the greatest ever. As far as athletes are concerned, he's top 3.
There is nothing that I would not want to watch Bo Jackson do on the football field or the baseball field when he was healthy. Like watching him run up the wall, watching him run over Boz, watching him just run for 5 million yards against the Seahawks, watching him hit that all-star game home run that just still hasn't landed, watching him break a bat over his, he was the type of athlete you see in today's sports before it existed. Like he was so in front of his time. And for whatever reason, like when he broke in like 86, 87, back then it was different. Like you didn't get to watch every game. There wasn't ESPN yet. Like, I mean, I still had to get up to change the channels on my TV, but like him hitting that home run in the All-Star game is a moment in my memory that is burned. I remember where I was. I remember who I was watching the game with because I was 6 years old. I was sitting next to my dad on the ugliest couch that's ever been owned at 945 Homeland Drive, right outside of Grandview Heights. And I remember watching him hit that home run and my dad just going, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because, I mean, we got to see were Phillies games on PHL 17, or PHL 11 or whatever it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember watching that and being like, I loved Mike Schmidt, but then I saw that guy and I'm like, how's Mike Schmidt better than that guy?
Yeah.
He's a superhero.
I hear people talk about Dion, and that's I'm sure, like, again, I did not get to see Dion play. Again, it's highlights. And right. I know Dion was a phenomenal athlete, but to me, Dion is if you put Dion in a 6'5", 225-pound frame full of pure muscle, and then said go, and he's just better at both sports.
I think that like Dion was a crazy athlete. I know we're kind of getting into the weeds here.
Sure.
Dion was a crazy athlete. Bo was Bo might be the greatest athlete to ever play a sport.
He's the greatest what if in sports, I think.
Absolutely, but like when you talk about just speed, strength, hand-eye coordination, like all the things that you talk about with an athlete, if somebody was able to put him in metrics today,
Oh, he'd be 80 grade in pretty much everything. I mean, like
yeah.
flat-footed throws from Narnia that he's making.
God, do you remember the throw? And I'm sure you've seen the highlight where he catches it in left field and throws a guy
Yeah,
out.
from short left, and the ball, like the
Yeah.
camera can't even keep up. Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it didn't leave this high off the ground.
Yeah. No. So he is my number 4. Where are you at here? We're on your 4.
We're at my number 4, and for that, I'm probably going to go. Where do I want to go with this? Uh, I think I know my number 1. All right, Albert Pujols.
Oh, I love it. He is a top 5 hitter in baseball. I hate
Ever,
his swing.
yes.
I hate his swing.
Yeah, I get that, but I just like
Yes.
I can understand how it wasn't like visually appealing, whatever. But as far
Oh,
as
it's so good.
it was just here, and then the pitch
Yeah.
came. It was like Bonds sort. It just Bonds with less movement, where he could just get his hands from here through the hittings, and it's just I don't know how he did it.
No, I love that pick. I mean, I don't think guys my age, well, not my age, a little younger than me,
Hmm?
do not appreciate how lucky we were to watch a guy like Pujols play, and he just is not appreciated enough. Now, maybe I'm wrong if I go to St. Louis or something like that. Maybe that's different, but like on the East Coast, I don't know that anybody realizes how lucky we were to be able to watch him, A-Rod, Bonds, and all those guys play, whether or not like take PEDs out of the equation, how lucky we were to be able to see those guys play
Hmm.
against, 95 to 100 mile an hour arms. And, just it was crazy. My number 3 is probably going to be the one where you like look at me like, what?
Okay,
One of my favorite all time swings, Joe Mauer is my number 3.
that's not a what. He had a very pretty swing.
Oh my gosh, it is poetry in motion, my friend. I would like when I talk to Simon, my son, about trying to hit. We look at videos of Joe Mauer.
Well, he's left-handed as well, right? So yeah, I mean and Joe Mauer had another guy with great bat to ball skills.
Yeah.
Not for power. He could hit a little bit for power, but he was just let me go the other way. Double, 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 double.
Well, I think the other piece to that with Joe Mauer is what drives me nuts. The only reason he's 3, him and Will Clark would have flipped if Will
Okay.
Clark was in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And Will Clark should be in the Hall of Fame, but Joe Mauer is and deserves to be there. Multiple batting titles.
Yeah. MVP.
What's that?
MVP.
Yep, MVP, absolutely. So he's my number 3. Where are you at for number 3?
By the way, just back to Pujols for 2 seconds. My dad's favorite player of all time is Willie Mays. He was at Mays' 3,000th hit. Loves Mays. Loves, loves, loves. He said Albert is up there, top 3 hitters he ever saw.
Yep.
And like really means that. He was the man.
Oh, I don't disagree with him at all.
Number 3. I don't know if you're gonna have him on the list too, but Manny Ramirez.
He is the guy that I was upset I didn't put on the list. Here's how upset I was about it. MVP 04 or 05 with him on the cover for
Yes.
PlayStation 2.
Yep.
When you create a player, you get to pick a swing. He is the swing that I always pick for my creative player. And
Left or right-handed, doesn't
I
matter.
left him off the list. I got done. I was like, no, I'm not changing it. But oh God, no. Maybe the best right-handed swing that we'll see in live. Prettiest.
That's why he's there for. I mean, like I love Manny Machado.
Sure.
And I think he's my number 2. But as far as prettiest right-handed swings ever, it's Manny Ramirez. And he was again PEDs, so failed a drug test, multiple drug tests. My God, suspended forever, whatever. But that dude could hit.
We've got 2 people watching right now. Comment your best swings. Who do you like? Let us know. If we haven't named somebody, I mean, we got the top 2 spots left for our top 10. If you got somebody you want to throw in there, throw it in. I'm going to jump to my number 2, and it is Teddy Ballgame, Ted Williams, who obviously I didn't get to see hit, but there is enough video, and I'll tell you right now, if you want to talk about the Will Clark swing, my number 1 swing, it all started with that guy.
We have the number 1. We have the same number 1 swing, and we'll get to that. But yeah, Teddy Ballgame. As far as like pure hitter goes, there's maybe not a better pure hitter ever.
I mean, I'm such a Ted Williams freak for a guy who didn't get to see him play. There are multiple biographies about him. My favorite is The Hitter. If you're ever looking for a good book, it's really good. He was interviewed multiple times for it, and it's just listening to him talk about hitting. Anytime you can find him talking about hitting. I also enjoy that. Like, there's a rare video of him watching Mike Piazza hit.
I saw that one in
high school.
I saw that one,
and he's like, "Well, that's real good right there." And nobody. Oh,
that's a great. I wanted to do honorable mentions at the end. That's one of them.
Yeah, that is a great swing. Adrian Gonzalez was just thrown up on the comments. Hold on, I can show that. That is Adrian Gonzalez is a absolute honorable mention. Could be on either of these lists. So smooth, right to the baseball.
I watched him torch the Giants on both the Padres and the Dodgers, so that was fun.
Tess, thank you so much for the comment. I hope you hang around and watch the rest. So, all right, who is your number 2?
Number 2, Josh Hamilton.
I knew he was going to be on your list.
Yeah.
And it is as pretty a swing as you can think of. I mean,
and we've obviously had plenty of discussions on him, but as far as like big what ifs, what if, man? Like, we saw what it could be when he was good. He was the best hitter in baseball. But
77, was that the number when he was with the Rangers that year?
372.
372.
Yes.
I mean, I could look it up. I'm just being lazy, but I mean, he was just impossible to get out that year.
Yep.
And then, when you go to the All-Star game, the home run derby at Yankee Stadium, he didn't win that home run derby.
No, people forget about that.
Justin Morneau did.
No, I'm sorry. He had 359 when he won MVP in 2010.
Thank you. But like, I mean, just absolutely insane. You have the numbers up in front of you right now?
Yeah.
Run them down.
I mean, just let me say real quick too, just like, again, bat to ball skills guy. I mean, can you tell the Heisey story real quick?
Oh, I mean, he just said it was nuts when they were.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best hitter you ever saw, right?
Yeah, hands down. Yeah.
All right, Josh Hamilton's 2010 MVP season, 8.7 WAR in 133 games.
Wait. We can do this podcast for 25 years. I don't ever want to hear the WAR stat again.
Okay,
that's fine.
Sorry.
Anyway, now go on.
so this is in 133 games too. So imagine he plays 150 or 162, all of them. 571 plate appearances. That's a joke. And in those 571 plate appearances, 95 runs scored, 186 hits, 40 doubles, 32 homers, 100 RBI, got walked 43 times, struck out under 100, had a batting average of 359, on base 411, slug of 633 for a 1044 OPS, and 328 total bases. That's pretty good.
That is crazy.
His OPS plus was 170. That's all right.
We got another comment here. What's your favorite current swing in the game? Great question. Matt, I'll let you take that first.
I'm going to do the homer thing. It's Manny. It's Manny Machado. I just love when he gets into one and he knows it.
I think so. For me, I think it's probably Yordan Alvarez for me.
That's hard to argue.
There are a lot of good ones out there. Bobby Witt Jr.'s swing is a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know.
It's
He
not as
kind of reminds me of Jeter a little bit, and Jeter's bored me. It's like,
no,
okay,
well, if that's the case, he's Jeter with some pop.
well, he's Jeter with pop, yeah, but like the way he swings it, just kind of like
I mean, I really like watching Christian Yelich hit. Um,
Bonds fixed Yelich.
I mean, Jordan's kind. This is going to be
Jordan might be it.
This is going to be a really unpopular take, and maybe it's just that he is on Instagram a lot, and I see his swings pop up. I really like Alex Bregman's swing.
Not a fan.
I know
Jerky,
it's
jerky.
choppy and whatever, but it works. He barrels the ball. He's a scary hitter. Tess, who's your favorite swing right now? Let us know. Throw it up there. Mine's Jordan, and Matt's definitely got the Manny thing going on. I think we're at number one.
And we both agree. Just you go ahead and say it.
It's got to be the Griff. Ken Griffey Jr. is the greatest swing of all time.
If you just threw a curveball said Fred McGriff, I would have lost.
Well, we're talking about numbers, right? Like we're talking about numbers here.
Sure.
And hold on, I just want to do this. So from, oh shoot, I got this. Hold on, I'm not that old. I can figure it out. From 1990 to 2001, he hit 440 home runs, 44 home runs, hit 298, walked 841 times, 867 hits, 339 doubles. I mean, he was just a monster before a couple of injuries. So, and as far as the swing goes, tell me a swing that's been more replicated by kids with a wiffle ball bat than that one. I mean, my God, I'm 42 years old, and I'm going to play in a wiffle ball game with my son this year at some point, and I will be
Griffey swing
every time.
Yeah.
The wiffle ball bat we use still says Ken Griffey Jr. on it.
Fair enough.
It is the best swing of all time. It is the coolest swing of all time. Backwards hat, Camden Yards, off the warehouse. Griff. Period.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I do want to ask you, now that we've finished our 10, do you have any honorable mentions? Ronald Acuna is a great answer.
Yeah, Tess. Ronald Acuna is absolutely a fantastic swing. I get a lot of heat on my Instagram site that I have not put Ozzy Albies up yet. And one of the reasons that I haven't is that I've posted Acuna twice. I've posted Austin Riley. I've posted Matt Olson. I need a break from the Braves as a Phillies fan. If I post any more Braves, I'm gonna start to feel like I'm being sacrilegious. But Ronald Acuna is absolutely a top-notch swing in today's game. Awesome, Tess. Thank you so much for commenting. It's a whole lot more fun when we have people that throw things in. So honorable mention though, I already told you the Manny Ramirez thing.
Sure. Bohm has an underrated swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I love Alec Bohm's swing. He was just on the By the Book Baseball Instagram account. He was Aaron Dolan and him are dating. Aaron Kate Dolan, the ESPN bet chick, and him are dating. So threw him up there because she showed the two of them at the Super Bowl. Go Eagles. Go Birds. But absolutely, Alec Bohm has an underrated swing. I agree. I
got three for you.
Yeah, throw them at me. I'm
Gary Sheffield.
Oh
yeah, I mean
Gary Sheffield not on either.
He's not one of the prettiest. That he just did the.
It doesn't matter. It's one of the.
I mean, the dude was. I know that was one that was tough to leave out, but you know, I don't see him as the prettiest, but yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch, right?
Well,
if we're going favorites, sure. Here's one for two more for you, but here's one I bet you didn't think was coming. Rhys Hoskins.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You know who? Okay, Reese Hoskins is the right-handed version of David Justice.
Yes,
I'm wrong.
that's correct. This is why my brain works with baseball. That makes absolute 100% sense to me.
Yep.
And then the last one that was just a lot of fun because he looked like he was like 5'2" in the box, but had forearms bigger than my torso. Dan Ugla.
Oh man, I thought when you said he looked 5'2" in the box, I thought we were going Jeff Bagwell. He just missed my cut. Jeff Bagwell's swing is so just memorable.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, PED allegations, whatever, I get it, but he was a monster. I'm trying to think. I really like Tessa's question about current swings. And I should be better at this seeing as though I post one every night.
I mean, Otani's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He's got the tip
his
like
his swing is a ton of fun to watch. Absolutely. I also
Francisco Lindor. I know you.
Oh.
We can.
Yep. Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill's got a great left-handed
Really
swing.
good swing. Any other?
I don't like Judge. I don't like watching
I
Judge
can't
and
watch
Soto
Aaron,
hit.
listen, you want to talk about Aaron Judge for 2 seconds? I can't watch Aaron Judge because I hate Teacher Man.
Yeah. Oh God, that guy's a hack. I mean, the biggest hack that ever did hack. But the Judge to me doesn't make any sense because okay, here's where my big old homer thing. Ooh, Connor Norway, nice. Orioles prospect.
Who is he?
Orioles prospect.
Nice, Connor Norby.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wow. All right, not very often a name pops up I don't know. I'm all over this. Thank you. I'm gonna keep an eye out for Connor Norby. Love it.
Gunnar Henderson.
Dude, Adley Rushman is one of my favorite swings in baseball.
Adley's got a great swing.
He's a phenomenal swing.
So this is what I want to go back to with Judge. Like I was so again, Bonds, roids, whatever, but the dude never missed a strike. Like, I mean, if you threw him a strike for 4 straight years,
never missed.
It was going to burn you. It didn't matter. And watching Judge swing through fastballs down the middle, watching a lot of these guys swing through fastballs down the middle is that's a whole nother topic. But then watching Judge hit a slider that's 12 feet inside, that's basically going to hit him right in the elbow, and somehow he's pulling it out of the yard. It drives me bananas.
Let's talk about the guy who hits behind him in the lineup. Giancarlo Stanton is the most, like, I tell players that I coach, be loose so you can be fast. And then I watch Giancarlo Stanton, who doesn't have a loose piece to his body. And he's
6'5", 225, or he's like 6'6", I think. He's huge.
He's a large man. All right.
So I watched him tie. I watched Giancarlo hit 3 balls in a row to the Coke bottle in batting practice when the Marlins were in San Francisco.
This is a great question. I'm going to let you start, and then as a pitching coach, I'm going to jump in.
Okay. So to me, great mechanical swing. Mechanically, it's bat to ball skills, right? It doesn't necessarily matter how it looks because we talked about it at the start of the show. There are much better technical swings than some of the swings we named. But as far as good bat to ball skills, doesn't matter how you do it, but understanding A, what you're capable of, and B, how to get from here to the ball the best way for you.
I'm gonna go real mechanical on this, and that is understanding that throwing and hitting are very, very similar, and that to get to the common goal of getting away from you, you need to work the other way. So like when you get stretch in your load, it gives you an opportunity for everything to sync up. So I think everything starts at the bottom half. I think you have to have a firm, solid base. Like, I don't care if you've got the leg kick that comes all the way up and goes. This is so weird because my screen is backwards and I'm left-handed, so I keep doing things and I'm like, this isn't right. But I think like even if you have a high leg kick, like that foot needs to be on the ground before the hips start to turn and the hands start to go to the ball. I am not a teacher man guy. Like there is no part of this snap crap that I believe is part of the game. I think it's a feel that maybe people want to find.
Feel versus real.
Exactly, but I think the biggest piece is getting yourself in a good hitting position, getting the foot down, having that load stretch on the back half, and then unwinding the rubber band. 108 performance is Eugene Bleecker is phenomenal at talking about this. If you're looking for some Instagram knowledge or YouTube knowledge, go to 108 performance and listen to what they talk about. They really get into the mechanical side and talk about letting your body be free and making sure that you get those levers in the right places. Tess, great question. It's a really tough one to answer when everybody's different, right? But for me, it's making sure you hit these checkpoints, right? Like so, foot is down, hands are here, we're ready to go. But yeah, it's all about making sure you get to those common checkpoints. Agreed?
I think so, absolutely. But this is where as far as like teaching, kind of same but different. We're not going to teach, Bryson Stott the same thing as Bryce Harper. What happens when Bryson Stott starts to not hit? He tries to get long. He tries to do a lot instead of, getting a little shorter and just hitting balls in the left center field gap.
Well, we talked about it early in the episode where, I mean, the biggest part of baseball is barreling the ball up, right? Making sure that you get the center of the barrel, right? Like you get too far under, get too far over it, it's not going to be successful. Yeah,
That's a great example.
Tess. That's a fantastic example. He was just on Just Swings about a week ago. I put him up on the Instagram site. His swing was not anything I'd ever teach anybody, but that guy was a really successful baseball player because his bat to ball skills were awesome. He also was kind of a freak athlete. Like if you look at the levers, like if you slow his swing down and watch where he goes in that swing, guys like him are usually just not as sequenced as really we'll call polished hitters. They're not as sequenced. He's not as sequenced, but he still finds those same places. Mm-hmm. It's at different points in the swing. So, that's a great example. Fantastic call there. All right. So, top 10 swings. Oh, all right. Least favorite swings in the league.
The Los Angeles Dodgers entire lineup.
This was a tough one because least favorite swings in the league. I feel like if you got to the league, you got a pretty good swing. I've got some least favorite swings of all time. Right now in the league, he's a really good hitter. McNeil from the Mets.
Jeff McNeil. But is he that good of a hitter, though?
I mean, he's not a bad hitter. I just don't care for his swing. Hilariously enough, Brandon Nimmo is another guy that I really don't like watching hit. Move over to the American League.
Judge is one for me. Like I hate to say that, but Judge is one of those guys.
It is tough because he is that good, but
Kyle Tucker, don't like his swing.
Who was that?
Kyle Tucker, don't like his swing.
Really?
Yeah, not a big Kyle Tucker. He reminds me too much of Brandon Belt. And as much as Brandon Belt brought 2 titles to San Francisco, it's like, dude, people think you are Jesus Christ personified for a first baseman, but we haven't had a 30 home run hitter since 2004 Barry Bonds.
Well, I have one that is going to be really unpopular. I do not enjoy Jose Altuve's swing.
I don't either.
I think that he's a guy that could probably hit 400 if he just changed a few things. He's had a ton of success doing what he does, so he's not going to change anything. But watching a guy just swing out of his shoes over and over again is difficult.
Matt Olson also. That's another. We'll move on, but Matt Olson not a big fan. Stop with the hands all the way out here. I hate it.
Yeah, we're gonna disagree on that one. Here we go. Oh, I'm with you, Tess. I'm a Phillies fan. I hate Corbin Carroll. He can.
See, he looks like a left-handed Bobby Witt Jr. to me.
Really?
Kind of like if you,
I'll look at it.
yeah,
I'm jaded because I really don't like what he like. I just don't like the Diamondbacks because of a couple years ago.
yeah.
I'm gonna take some time tonight before I put my swing up and look at that because you might be right.
Look at those two. It's scary. They're just inverted.
I'm blown away by your Matt Olson thing. I think he has a great swing. All right. So our second topic tonight was going to be contracts. We got time for that? It's we're at 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This is your topic. I'm going to let you run the show here, buddy.
Well, I don't necessarily want to run the show. I just want to say that I think this Juan Soto deal is going to turn out to be the singular worst contract in baseball history, and that the Shohei Ohtani deal might turn out to be the best contract in baseball history. And I never would have thought that I would have said. I need to Google right now the like if you look at current market value of Ohtani's contract.
Before you go further, explain why the two of them are so different.
Why the deals are different? Or okay, so first of all, it's a gajillion of what 15 years, 765 for Soto, 10 years, 700 for Shohei. Okay, all of that is guaranteed money. There's zero deferrals, and you're talking about a right fielder or left fielder who's got a noodle arm, runs like a truck. And people say he's the next Ted Williams, and it drives me bananas every time I hear it because I just don't see that even being possible, right? And as far as what he can do for your franchise, both on and off the field, it pales in comparison to what Shohei Ohtani can do: hitting, pitching, running, being the best player in baseball, and of that $700 million, $680 million of the Shohei Ohtani deal is deferred.
Right.
It's deferred money. So not only are you giving Soto $765 million, just here you go, take it.
And his is 15 years, right?
What's that?
Soto's is 15, right?
Yeah, Shohei's is 10. But the present the contract structure, the present day value of Shohei's contract right now is $460 million. It's a steal. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Absolutely. Well, you're also paying what you hope is going to be a top 5 pitcher in the league.
Yeah, not only just a good pitcher, a Cy Young candidate.
So, like, I mean, theoretically, like you're talking like if we were going to sign 2 guys, we'd pay them $350 million each, right? Which is where I was always okay with the Shohei money. Where I'm not okay with the Soto money is his contract takes him out to 40 years old, 41 to be accurate.
Yep.
All right. This is a player who has only hit more than 30 home runs 3 times in his 7 years in baseball. All right. Has hit over 300 twice. And those 2 years he was protected in 2020 and 2021 by really, really good players in those national lineups. Okay. And then he goes to San Diego.
Where he's got Tatis and Manny on either side of him.
And still didn't do squat.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Except for in 2023. He had a good year in 2023.
Yes, he did.
Walks. But like the year he left Washington and went to San Diego, it didn't really pan out. And then last year with the Yankees, like he had 41 home runs, but you might be able to pee over the fence in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, right field is a joke.
Right? Like, and only hit 288 in a lineup where he's got Stanton, Judge. At the end of the year, Jazz Chisholm. Like, there's plenty of protection there. And I'm missing guys that are good players there as well.
Right.
But him getting that kind of contract is why the last topic we're going to talk about today is where I'm at. The game is broken.
I would agree with that, but I do want to go back to Shohei, by the way, just real quick. You're also not getting the off the field, and they've done it obviously, and this is where we'll get into, baseball's broken, but they've signed all these Japanese superstars, Shohei being the first one of them. Do you think there's a single person in Japan that is a fan of any other team right now besides maybe some leftover Mariners fans from Ichiro?
Sure.
No. Like it is Dodgers or Mariners. I almost guarantee you that.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I just I get lost in what we're looking at there with Soto. Like that he has not shown me that he's good enough for that money.
I think that this gets into a totally different topic, and I don't want to get into all that, but I think a lot of this has to do with Steve Cohen being barred by the SEC and, being basically a finance criminal or accused of being one. And he wants it to be, instead of Steve Cohen, barred by the SEC, and instead being Steve Cohen, Uncle Stevie, that paid the richest contract in baseball history. He wants to be remembered for that instead.
Yes, that's a really great comment, and you're exactly right. Like we're in a situation with baseball where we're looking for stars, right? The NFL does a great job in a game where guys wear helmets and you can't see their face promoting their players, right? And I'm not going to talk about the NBA or the NHL. The NBA is literally just WWE to me. It is sports entertainment. Like the
Yeah,
NBA,
it's marketed to 12-year-olds, and they do a great job of it.
it beats me up. And the NHL, I'm just not educated enough to talk about. But the MLB needs to find people to invest in and put out there. And they're trying to with Shohei. Mike Trout was one of their big pushes, but like Soto's not that guy. I mean, it's really tough to push a guy who has already been on in 4 franchises in 7 years.
Yep.
Right? Like that isn't the message that we want the MLB sending. Like,
No.
oh, well, we're going to pay this guy $700 million. Do you think he ends his career as a Met?
I don't think so. I think it'll get to a point like this is where I think it's the worst it'll turn out to be the worst contract in baseball history. I think the Mets will eventually just go,
I don't
we want no part of you.
They're not going to have a choice. Like if they don't win a World Series in the next 3 years, they are going to have to sell.
Probably.
They already did.
But
I mean,
they sold and then they bought back. Like, so I just looked up the Steve Cohen thing. It was insider trading. The dude has billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Great.
He has unlimited money.
But like, I mean, now
and he's shown that he's willing to spend it. So sure, they might sell for 2 seconds. Yeah, he is a useless defender.
Useless. I mean, just think about when he was with San Diego and they played the Phillies in the playoffs.
Oh, holy God. It was like...
Right? I mean, he literally lost them a game.
I swear to you, you could have put, like, ailing Bo Jackson out there, and it probably would have gone better.
We could have put Matt Truscott out there, and we would have been all right.
I don't know if it would have been better than that, but he was horrific on defense.
No, I am. So this is going to segue us into the game being broken. We got about 12 minutes. I don't want to go much over an hour.
Sure.
I am worried about the state of the game because of this. The league does not do anything to monitor or mandate that teams stay competitive. And if there are teams like the Dodgers who can go out and spend $1 billion every offseason, and hey, I'm a Phillies fan. They're spending money. They didn't spend a ton this year, but they're spending money. They have multiple $300 million guys on their roster. It makes it impossible for teams like the Pirates, the Rays, even though the Rays seem to stay competitive, it just, there's no chance for those teams to be competitive year in and year out because they don't spend the kind of money. You see the Marlins who will get good for a spell and then sell because they need the money.
That's what they claim, though, and this is where I'll push back on that. Yes, baseball needs a serious salary cap. Are these small market teams going to be the Dodgers where they have a media rights deal, a TV deal, international guys that are, well, they could if they sign the international guys. That's great. But
right.
also, the these guys are all billionaires with a B. Like when Tom Ricketts for the Cubs is sitting there crying poor, oh, we try to break even on our Cubs season every year. Okay, that's fine. You might make a couple bucks on the Cubs, couple million, whatever. But as far as your outside business where you make billions of dollars with a B, don't cry poor. Spend the money. You have it.
I agree. So I love Tessa's question here. What would a salary cap look like? That's a tough question to answer without a bunch of numbers in front of me. But I will say this: I think the NFL has found a really good formula, and the NFL carries rosters well larger than the MLB.
Yep.
Okay, so if there are NFL rosters, we'll use the Eagles as an example. They just won the Super Bowl. I'm biased. I'm a big homer. But we'll use them as an example. I just saw a comment the other day how the Bengals have 3 players who are like making 60 plus $1 million, and the Eagles have like 10 because they've been able to work the salary cap into their advantage. I believe that the MLB needs to find a way to, just inherit some type of structure. And luxury tax isn't structure. The luxury tax is, we're going to
It's
laugh.
pennies. Again, Steve Cohen is worth like how many billions, like how many tens of billions of dollars? Maybe 100 at this point.
I also think that there needs to be some pushback from the league into ownership. So the Pirates, I mean, they have Paul Skeens, who I think is one of the most marketable players in all of baseball right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he will not be a Pirate in 4 years.
No, God, no. And that's because their owners intentionally just like, don't care.
And that's a problem.
Yes, it is.
So the league needs to be pointing at people like the Pirates and being like, listen, if you're not going to be doing everything you can to be competitive, you no longer can own this team. And I know that's a really difficult thing to put into play, but like at some point, that's what has to happen, or we're going to continue to see the same teams over and over again being competitive. And as a Phillies fan, I'm good with it because Middleton likes to spend money.
Sure.
Not the Dodgers, but he likes to spend money. So I think they need to take a page from the NFL playbook and say, here's what worked over there. And those, we're talking 56-man rosters.
For NFL?
Yeah. And in the MLB, you're talking
40.
40.
Well, active roster 26, full roster 40.
Right. So
yeah, I think more than anything, it needs a floor. It needs a salary floor because how can the Marlins be one of the worst teams in baseball and then spend $0 in the offseason? They have no incentive to spend money. All you're doing is basically just giving a giant middle finger to your fans saying, I don't care about you. Not even a little bit.
Well, and what is going to motivate a fan to come to a ball game then?
Product on the field. I mean, you would think so.
What I'm saying is like listen, I've been a Phillies fan since the day I was born. I lived through the 80s. I lived through the 90s. They were awful. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I was born in 82. So, like, in 83, they went to the World Series. I don't remember that. They lost to the Orioles. From 83 to 93, they were god awful. And then in 93, the world shook, right? Another good question here.
I don't have an answer to that right now, Tess. I can only say, like, with all the money flying around right now, I don't think so because all these guys are getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, the owners are definitely still trying to nickel and dime, the role players, the utility guys, the non-superstars, sure. But as a whole, I don't think so. I think they'll come to some sort of agreement.
I agree. I don't think there'll be a lockout. I think what we're talking about right here is exactly why there won't be, because the teams that are crying poor aren't actually poor. And they will make it so that doesn't happen because they understand that if they lock players out or players strike, that their little hobby is not going to make them any money. And I think they also know that back in '94, that was it was not good. And I know that we're going back, 30 years. God, I'm old. We're going back 30 plus years, but I just don't see that being something that happens again.
By the way, I did just look up how many MLB team owners are not billionaires. Take a guess at the number. How many MLB team owners are not billionaires?
3, okay.
It's the Royals, the Brewers, and the Padres.
That's an interesting list. Holy cow. The Padres have spent money, but have had to get out from under a little bit of it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that had a
Goodness.
lot of it had to do with Peter Seidler dying, and now Peter Seidler's wife isn't running the team. It's going to be the brother, and he's going to intentionally tank him. So that's awesome. I agree with that big time, Tess. I don't know what they're doing.
You want to talk about a team that has so many young, popular stars. They really they have an opportunity to be a lot of fun to watch, and they don't seem to like be buying in.
No, I don't know what that's all about either.
I'm going to tell you right now, there is not a better ballpark to watch a baseball game at than Camden Yards. There is just not. All right. I don't want to hear about Oracle Park.
I want you to just come with me one of these times, and you will see the light.
Fine. I'm telling you as somebody who's played at Camden Yards, okay?
As somebody who's been to both.
And somebody who's watched a game there and hasn't been to Oracle Park. You're Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is Camden Yards is a beautiful ballpark and a lot of fun to be at, no matter where you're at in the ballpark.
I can get down with that.
All right. Anything else we want to cover on why the game's broken?
I mean, I think we kind of nailed it, and I can tell you, not that it matters, but I don't see it getting fixed anytime soon.
Unfortunately, no, I don't either. I mean,
the billionaires have too much power.
Another piece to this is the college game. Something that I'm a little more closely dialed into as a high school coach. I get players who ask me what it means to be a D1 prospect anymore, and now with the NIL, it's not really a thing. If you're a D1 prospect, you better be a draft prospect.
Yep.
At the high school level, because at this point, with the transfer portal, the new junior college rules, which are insane, topic for our next episode. So, tune in. We're going to try and do one of these once a week. Also, the 3-Putt podcast. We're hoping to throw that up tomorrow over on Bucket Hats and Birdies. Stay with us. Shoot us texts. Shoot us messages. Let us know what you want to hear. Tess, really appreciate all of the comments today. That makes this show a lot more fun. It might make it longer, but it makes it more.
That's a blast.
Yeah,
I would love to hear some other people's thoughts.
So, hopefully next time we've got a list of people watching. Also, check out Matt over at Pull the Pin. If you're a Lancaster guy, go in and get fit for golf clubs. Go over to Buy the Book Baseball Instagram site. If you want to see some swings, I put them up every night. And hopefully we'll see you guys again soon. Anything, Matt?
Nope. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.